Hi, and welcome to Visibility Unlimited and Visibility Unlimited Spotlight, the video portion to the podcast, Visibility Unlimited. I'm Leslie Short, your host and the owner of the Cavu Group. Oh, today's conversation is dear to my heart. I know you get so sick of me saying every conversation is dear to my heart, but this one is my heart. It's been my life. I am so excited to speak with Amar Smalls. Welcome, Amar.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
So you may go, he doesn't look like the normal business person you may have on here. He absolutely is a business person. But more importantly, he is an artist. He is a dancer. He is a choreographer. He is a businessman because he runs his business. And art is a business. But first of all, I mean, I can give you a resume. Look, let me give you, before you even start talking, let me give you a little, let me share a little bit of your resume. Let me toot your horn if you don't mind.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So one, he just came back off a tour and from France with Dance
Yeah.
through Harlem. So I was stalking him as he was dancing through Paris uh, to get this interview. He's also trained and danced with the American Ballet, danced through the Harlem, Alvin Ailey Second Company, trained in San Francisco Ballet. When I'm reading his resume, I was having flashbacks of everything except for Dance Theater Harlem and Alvin Ailey. Dance Theater, I got in at 15. My parents wouldn't let me go because they're like, yeah, Harlem's too
What?
far. Yeah,
What?
exactly. We're talking about that. We're talking about that. I was at Joffrey Ballet though.
Oh, okay, okay,
So,
okay. Okay, okay.
Amar, welcome.
Thank
When
you.
did you start dancing?
I started at around like 12 years old, which I think is kind of late. I feel like that's kind of late. At Abrams Art Center in New York. My little sister was dancing. This is the story that everybody has, but my little sister was dancing, and I was kind of just doing art, like visual art. And Daniel Katnack saw me just sitting outside every day, and Natalia Johnson as well. And they were just like, "Yeah, try the class." And I was like, "I don't want to
No,
try," because
thank
the
you.
first thing I saw were those tights, and it was a whole bunch of girls. There was no guys in there. I'm just like, at that age, I think is that's like the awkward age. You're just like, yeah, because I never experienced bullying when I was younger, but I always felt like, oh, this is weird. I'm not gonna do this. But I tried it out, and you know how you have like a natural knack for things, or it feels like this is like the thing that calls to you.
Yes.
That was the first time that I felt that, other than music. You know what I mean? And then this is the thing that brought together music and dance. Like it was weird, you know. So I just liked it. I don't know. It's like unexplainable a little bit.
It's something in your spirit. It's
Yeah,
something dance moves you. You
yeah,
know, I was
yeah,
chosen at the age of 7 to be trained as a classical ballet dancer. I too didn't know. I had invented a whole bunch of jumps and flips and things and had called them my own name
yeah,
because I
yeah,
didn't know.
yeah,
But when you are there
hmm,
and when you can learn something and it happens through your body,
yeah.
you can't explain what it
You
is.
can't. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
painful.
yeah,
You get yelled at. There's
yeah,
music, there's beauty,
hmm,
it's all of it, but it's
yeah.
something special. But I love how you said you started at 12 because people
Hmm?
hear Missy Copeland and they're like, oh, she started late and look how beautiful it is. No, the only
Yeah,
people that usually start at 12 are guys.
yeah. Usually, yeah, yeah. For Misty, I guess for the girls, yeah, it's like super late to start at that age because my little sister started at like 2 or 3. She's a way better dancer than me. I don't tell her I said that, but she's a way better dancer. She dances
We
with
keep that a
Ailey too.
secret.
But yeah, it's kind of normal for guys to start later just because there aren't a lot of guys in dance, and usually studios are just like, yeah, just come in, it's fine, it's fine, So
Yeah, they're
yeah,
so happy to see you all. And
yeah,
you know what was great though? So I should tell my listeners and those watching, I saw you on Instagram,
hmm,
our news channel now in this world. But I loved that I was saddened in love that you were speaking about the world of dance through your own personal experience,
yeah,
whether it was being a black male dancing ballet, just being a ballet dancer, but also you spoke about the disparities between yourself and the female dancers. I
Yeah,
would love to touch on all three of those topics.
yeah, for
Being
sure.
being a dancer, a male dancer, being a black male dancer, and the disparities that you see now.
Yeah. So as we know, like in the world is ran by stereotypes. And immediately when I joined ballet, like I just got these like crazy stereotypical things put on me, like, oh yeah, how could you put on tights? You know, that's gay. Like black people don't do that. We play basketball. I am terrible at basketball. I am 5'10". I think the shortest basketball player in the league is 5'9" or something, 5'10".
Right.
So I don't think I would be good in that field. Like I don't play other sports. And like I don't know, we're for black people we're pigeonholed into this one space. And when I was younger, I don't think there were a lot of black dancers that were in the spotlight. Even now, you know, we're just now becoming like a thing. And a part of me with those videos that I was posting, I just kind of wish that it didn't go viral because it should be normal that a black ballet dancer exists. You know what I mean? I
But
wish
it's
that,
oh yeah, trust me, I because I'm much
yeah,
older than you. So the new book is someone had to be the first. I was the
yeah,
first of many. You know, even till this day, when I say I was a classical ballet dancer, people will go, "Oh, you danced at Alvin, Ailey and danced at Harlem?"
yeah,
No, my
yeah,
friends, I danced with,
yeah,
I was trained with Joffrey Ballet, Pennsylvania Academy of Ballet. I spent,
yeah,
my adult years in Europe dancing. And it's because automatically that, especially my time, and now you're telling me it's still the same. I'm going to
still the
say,
same.
don't know how old you are, but I'm going to say 20 something years later.
26.
Oh, dear God. Okay, many more years older than 26 years later, we're still having the same conversation
Yeah,
that if you see someone that is a black dancer, that they automatically, and trust me, I love Avenelli and I love dancing
yeah,
at Harlem, but that wasn't where I wanted to dance.
right, right.
But yet the assumption is we accept you if you're there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is, I think it's just like interesting because I feel like there should be more black dance companies like or as big as Alvin Alien and DTH. I just feel like within the like black culture and black race, I feel like we don't really stick our neck out to support these other companies that exist, like Philadelphia or you know these other
Right.
companies that
I was about
exist.
to say them,
Yeah,
who's been
yeah.
around. Like I got into that company when I was 15. I was the youngest one to ever get
Oh
in.
wow,
And it was the
wow.
first black company or black group of dancers I had ever been around.
Yeah, yeah.
I was coming from ballet, strictly classical ballet from
Hmm.
the moment I stepped into a studio. And
Right.
so to dance with them and hear the
Yeah.
I was like,
Super expressive. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but I could
yeah.
not have been happier for that experience
Right.
because when I retired from ballet and started doing more theater and TV, I think just my personality has that energy to move that way anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we don't support the arts as much as we should be supporting the arts all the way across the
Yeah.
board. Let's say that. And then when it
Hmm.
comes to predominantly African American companies, we're pulling extra strings to keep alive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I noticed too. I spoke to my grandma about this, and she was saying back in the day when DTH like first started, I think she said it was government funded or something, or
Mhm.
there was like a whole program where they gave artists money to like just start
Yes.
things. And you can see the real shift now where it's like that's not the case at all, you
Right.
know. And that affects like the kids in the community as well because it's like these kids don't have anything to do. You know, you watch an old video of Arthur Mitchell teaching a whole bunch of kids, and I think he said it was like $1 a week for classes,
Right.
which is very expensive, especially for back then.
Hmm.
But yeah, I forgot my initial point. But yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? They used to come into the schools. So
Mm,
you're in New York. I grew up in New York. And that's how I really started with Ali Tunji. I don't even know if
mhm,
you've heard of that company. Well, they used to come in and do dance classes in the schools,
right.
in the elementary schools, and I was chosen to do a scarf dance with them, a performance they taught the
Mm,
kids. And after they came to my mom and to my parents and said, "Hey, we see something in her. Can we train her?"
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But so we don't even have that opportunity because how many black parents are going to walk into a ballet school sometimes and be like, okay, train my child more now, of course, but
yeah,
there is
yeah,
still a classism isms that go
for
along with
sure. Yeah,
ballet.
for sure. That's why I continue to, because I'm a very shy person. I don't know if you kind of noticed. I have my shy like tendency. I'm a Gemini, so sometimes I'm shy. I have
Okay.
like my shy tendencies, but that's why on social media it's like I say my point and then I close the app. I don't look at comments or anything like that. And I feel like there just has to be somebody that resonates and speaks the same language as kids now, for people to want to go see a ballet or go and dance. Because a lot of the people that are like doing outreach and things like that, they just don't translate well with the kids because either they don't look like them, white, or
Right.
they just don't speak the same language. You know what I mean? I spoke to it's like one of my peers about like how I was kind of self-conscious about the way that I was getting my points across on Instagram, and they were just like, "Yeah, that's just how you speak, and that's just how Gen Z. That's how Gen Z speaks."
That's
And
right.
and if that's the way that it has to come across for people to understand, then yeah, you know. So
But I
yeah,
just think you were speaking from your heart. You were
hmm,
speaking from experience. You're also speaking from frustration
yeah,
sometimes. And I understood all three of those because look, we didn't have this outlet when I was
right,
coming up. I had to, I never, until George Floyd's death, I never said I was black. I didn't think I needed to. It was very clear.
hmm, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
it was very clear. I never
yeah,
needed to say it.
yeah,
It was, but I was also having ballets created on me and then
hmm,
having being in the front. So I didn't know what you were saying behind me. You were already
yeah,
saying it
yeah,
next to me, in front of me, to the side of me. But guess what? I was dancing in front of you. So, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
did, which was crazy. And I'm sure you've seen this.
mm,
When you go to an audition, and now we're past this, but when you go to an audition, again, guys are different because they're just happy to have a guy there sometimes,
yeah, yeah,
but you're not part of that school. And all of a sudden you start getting roles.
yeah,
And then it's the parents, even more so than the kids, it's the parents. How dare they?
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Dance is just like politics, just like anything else in the world, more so than anything else in the world because of how underfunded it is, I think. There's a lot of like things that slip through the cracks. And yeah, it's a weird industry. I love it a lot, but it's just a weird, I think it's a young industry too. And I had a debate with somebody about this because they're like, yeah, dance started a long, long time ago, but it's very young. It's like America. America's like 300 years old, but
yeah.
it's a lot older than America. But you know what I mean? Like there's so many
It's,
things that
I
people let
think,
slip.
yeah, and when you say let slip, because I want our listeners and everyone to understand. I think when you say let slip, it is not let slip. I think
Hmm.
it has been a closed community.
Yeah, yeah,
And so things you could get away with. I
yeah,
look at the way some of the dancers dress now. I can tell them, oh, and I'm like, oh, you have on three pair of leg warmers and shorts and tights. Like we were never allowed to do any
yeah,
of those types of things. So it's changed in a sense, but yet all the isms. I'm going to say the racism,
yeah.
the sexisms, the all the isms are still there
Mhm.
and sometimes very unspoken still.
Yeah, yeah. like since I started dancing, I noticed that, and this is more actually after when I started training at American Ballet Theater, and there were like four black kids in there, and in my mind, I'm just like, I don't know. Our generation is different in the sense of like we grew up, especially in New York, you grow up around a whole bunch of ethnicities, but then you realize that like, yeah, I'm definitely being treated different because of my skin color. And it bothered me since I was like little, and I just had no way to actually articulate it.
Mhm.
And I never noticed until one teacher, this wasn't at ABT, this is at a different studio, but one teacher was just like, because I asked her, I was like, "Oh, I really want to go to San Francisco Ballet and train for a little bit," and she's like, "Oh yeah," she's like, "Yeah, but you should go to Alvin Ailey, you should go to DTH." Like before I even expressed
Yes.
interest in that at all, before I even said anything, it's just like that's where I'm supposed to be. That's the only two
Hmm.
companies like. Why don't I have a chance to go to San Francisco Ballet or go to Frankfurt Ballet or go to, you know what I mean? Like, why don't I
Northwest,
have that
anywhere,
option? Yeah,
anywhere.
because the kid next to me, because Chad next to me could go to any school he wants to go to. You know what I mean? And I'm very grateful now that I have the platform to like just kind of say whatever I need to say. I'm not with the huge companies anymore, so I don't really need. I don't know. I'm not afraid to like speak. You know?
Well, and it's such a shame because yes, it's very hard for us to say things, even though I was the person that would pick up my bag and walk out, because I was the only one at that time.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
When I was on scholarship at Joffrey, there was three of us, and the entire time I was there, there was only three of us, two girls and one
Yeah.
guy. That was
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
all it was going to be. I don't care if I wasn't there, that they were plug me in with someone else.
Yeah.
When the other girl left, they plugged her in with the other. That's just what it was. It was an unwritten
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah.
It's not going to be any more than that. And when I asked permission to go audition for San Francisco Ballet, uh, they put me through the ringer. And I
Hmm.
finally got permission, and they came back and go, "Oh, but we guess you didn't get in." And I was like, "Well, I did."
Yeah.
And it was just because of having to move across the States when I was, what, 14 or 15 is the only
Yeah.
reason my parents finally ended up saying no, because I was accepted back at Joffrey. But
Yeah.
the same thing. Oh, well, Allie, go to Alvin Ailey. It's right around the corner, dance theater and stuff in Harlem. Why are you trying to go somewhere else? And
Yeah.
so to hear you say that teacher, and it's not the same teachers I had, but the
Mm.
teachers now are still saying the same thing they said to me, which they
Yeah.
probably said to the generation before me,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth, that it is crazy. You know,
Yeah.
I tell when you spoke about telling the truth, in the book I did tell some stories about just living in boarding houses with dancers and how I was told not to speak to certain people. But
Yeah.
I'm like, but you looked me up and down when I came in.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's the acceptance until you get the role.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the dance world, it's like I said in the beginning, like it's just sometimes a lot of lies, and we live and breathe lies, especially in the world in general. And it's weird when somebody says the thing that we're all thinking, and I don't understand how that's. You know what I mean? Like the truth sounds crazy in a world full of lies. That's like one of my favorite quotes because it's like everybody's thinking this one thing. I don't think there's one true special person that has like the word of everything. Everybody's thinking the same exact thing. It's like I think every person in the dance community should have the bravery to tell their experiences, like how you're telling your experience, and not get penalized for it or made or scrutinized or like, yeah, stone him. He said this about blah blah blah. Like it shouldn't be like that. It should be support because it's community. And yeah, I just wish the dance world was more truthful. That's why I feel so like insecure about things going viral sometimes. Cause I'm like, you guys didn't ever talk about this amongst each other, or you don't think this way, or it's like, oh yeah.
They
In the comments,
do,
is always that. Yeah, it's like I
but
just
it's
wish
what you
people were brave
said.
enough. Yeah,
It's being brave enough, but it's also knowing they're going to be penalized. They know they're
yeah,
going to be penalized for it. And let's be honest, there's only so many dance companies.
hmm,
There's only so many opportunities to get in. Dancing on TV and film is different than dancing in a ballet company. Everyone
yeah,
doesn't transfer over.
Yeah, yeah.
I was blessed. I transferred over, and
Hmm.
I was blessed, but I was blessed, but I also worked really hard. Like, I want to make that very clear. I want to be like, oh my God. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then I got to a point in my career where I was being called for roles, but that's not always the case. And
Hmm.
so we know in the dance world, it is I hate to say this, it's really going to me a doggy dog world. Like I was
Yeah.
told to step over dancers that fell out. Oh, she's
Hmm.
anorexic. Oh, she wasn't strong enough
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think since dance is rooted in tradition, it's hard for younger dancers to get out of that tradition sometimes because they feel like they're disrespecting the older dancers or the older culture when it's like I feel like dancers should be able to say what they want to say now. I mean, we have social media, so you can build. This is the business thing you're talking about. You can build your own thing now. You could really find your people online. It's not. There's no gatekeepers. Donors are cool, but I say this all the time too. Donors are cool, but when you're 90 years old watching New York City Ballet and you're a donor, I don't think you're gonna see the next the next 20 seasons from now. So who are the next things? Like the things in our pockets. Like dancers have the world in their pocket. You could record yourself doing a phrase, and then a million people could see it.
Mhm.
That's more people that can fill up the city center theater right now. So I think just dancers have to get out of the tradition sometimes. You can still respect those things. I love respecting the old dancers. Those are people I look up to. But it's like finding that thing where you can, I don't know, move the culture forward. It's just so far back all the time.
Because you have it's what you said, it is just rooted in history, right? So you have
Hmm.
9.5 out of 10, the people that are running the companies now, probably the people I dance with, are a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
older, right?
Hmm.
So came from tradition, stayed in tradition,
Yeah,
and haven't given a voice to the dancers, yet dancers do have a different outlet, like as you said, to build that
yeah.
platform. But how much will they be penalized? What does it look like? Something I was surprised a few years back, I went to see, I don't remember what company it was, and I saw as you say, donors. I opened up the book and dancers were being sponsored by
Hmm.
donors.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, okay, I hate this. I love this. I hate
Yeah,
this. I love this because this is a way to get money into companies.
yeah.
I hate this because then dancers are beholden, which we're
It's
always
like,
beholden to the company anyway, but now you're beholden to the
yeah,
company and your donor.
yeah. It's like slavery. It's literally, for lack of a better term, it's like slavery. Now I'm indebted to this to this white donor, this old wrinkly white donor that doesn't know anything about dance. When in turn I could build my own audience on the internet, and they could sponsor me, and they really trusted my ideas. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like eat the rich, but that's the world we live in. So
No, and I understand if someone listening and watching may be going, "Oh, well, that's so. Why would you say that?" And so I want to be really clear because the dance, especially ballet world, and Ballantyne said it that it should be the color of an apple core, and
yeah,
that's
which
what
is
it,
crazy.
which is crazy, and I write about that. But that was his statement, and so
Mm,
ballet is still rooted in that, though we have it. I went into a store last time I was in New York and dance store because for years I didn't speak about dance. Like people knew I was a dancer, but I never spoke about it because in my mind that was my career over there. I have amazing transferable skills that God has set the tone for every business deal I've ever made. I know how
yeah,
to
yeah.
maneuver. It has given me a foundation I wouldn't trade for the world. But my fight was wigs. Can I have a black or brown wig?
Yeah.
Um, and to walk into a store and see brown point shoes and brown tights, I didn't care about a brown point shoe or a brown tight to save my life.
Hmm.
I really didn't.
Hmm.
Can I just not look like an idiot when I'm up on the stage and you're laughing because
Yeah.
you're going to give me the blonde wig as a joke?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that just like shows that everything in dance is still so traditional and rooted in like racism. Because just like we said with wigs, when you think about when somebody asks you like, oh, how long has your hair gotten? And they go like this, like, oh, it's gotten this long. It's like our hair doesn't do that.
No, no.
You know what I mean? It's like so it's things that are like put into the culture that are rooted in racism, and dance is taking so long to get, I'm grateful for all the progress, that has been made, but it's taking way longer, and that's just because dancers stay silent. And I know that's because they want a job, but
Right. They want a
you can do
job, they
the
want their scholarships, they want their
yeah.
place in class, they want to stay,
Hmm.
fourth row on the
Yeah,
left to the
yeah, yeah,
piano
yeah.
and second row or
Yeah.
first row going forward
Hmm.
class.
Hmm.
They're like,
Hmm.
people don't understand. Everything is about, uh, I'm going to say classism in a different way than what we're used to hearing classism that has money. And
Hmm.
in ballet, it's a classism of where you stand at the
Yeah,
bar,
yeah.
what line you come across the floor in, if you're chosen to demonstrate
Right.
for the right reason, as opposed for
Hmm.
you're doing it wrong.
Hmm.
Everything is a competition.
Yeah.
Everything is about where you are in that space.
Right,
And your
right.
own personal life is not even your own personal life. Everything belongs to that world.
Yeah, I watched Neon produced this documentary of Alvin Ailey. It's on Apple TV if y'all want to watch.
Okay.
And he basically says, Ailey himself says, like, you have to be a crazy person to want to dance because you don't get paid a lot, your body hurts all the time, and you don't really get to dance for that long. And then they asked him when he was older, like, oh, do you still want to dance? He's just like, no, like, why would I? Why would I want to do that? You have to really be a crazy person, which makes it beautiful. But he's like, you have to be a crazy person to want to dance.
I say to everyone, yeah, I always say when someone says, "Oh, my child's dancing," and they look at me to be like, and I'm like, no, let me explain to you. I
Yeah.
would not trade one day of it
Mm,
through the tears, through the pain, through the ice packs, the I have every body wrap you could possibly wrap.
right.
But if you don't dream it, eat it, and breathe it
Yeah.
24/7, then you should not do this. It is hard on your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit. Back then, we didn't have, like I said, the social media. We didn't have that outlet
Yeah.
to, so everything you were told you couldn't do anything else. You didn't go to college. You didn't, if it wasn't about dance,
You couldn't. Yeah.
you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
still that way.
Still, yeah. But I feel like it could change. I just think in like a monetary sense, the dance world just needs more money moving within it.
Mhm.
In the sense of people creating more of their own, because it's just like there's only so much money that you can get from billionaires into the art form. And yeah, it would make it a lot easier. I made a video about this too. It would make it a lot easier to dance if we had the resources to take care of our bodies and live like people do shows, amazing shows,
Yes.
and they can't pay their rent. That's
Right.
like crazy to me. You just performed in front of 20,000 people and you can't pay your rent. You can't eat at night, So if there was more money circulating in the community, then we'd be good. I think the performances would be better too. And it wouldn't feel like this demented, struggling artist thing because other art forms don't really struggle like that anymore. You look at actors, they get paid so much money to do like these like 30-minute films, 2 hour
Right.
long films. We're on stage doing Swan Lake for 2 hours. It's live, making sure it's perfect, and we don't get paid as much. And it's not all about money, but it helps. It
At the
helps.
end of the day, it's a business. It's a business to turn the lights
Yeah,
on in the theater, to have the sound, the lights, the music, the dance,
yeah,
all of it. It is a business at the end of the day.
yeah.
We're not taught that as the performers. It's
Hmm.
our career, it's our love, but you don't be taught that it's a business and how to turn that. I was someone that sat by the doors of directors and listen. I was
Hmm.
over here hustling,
Yeah.
and because I didn't know what was after dance. I knew that there was going to be an after dance. I just
Yeah.
couldn't tell you when or what, and I
Yeah.
wasn't. actively looking for it, but I knew I wanted to learn.
Hmm.
I wanted to learn what the stagehands were doing. I wanted to learn what the lighting guys were doing. And number one, I just got sick of hearing the dancers complaining about falling out of pirouettes. Go practice. I can't pull up.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
stop.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm gonna go sit over here with the and
yeah, yeah,
because I
yeah.
was the only one, right? Oh, look at
Mhm.
the little black girl that wants to learn how to run the steady cam or the learn how to pull the curtains. And so they
Yeah.
taught me.
Mhm.
But that was me. You see other dancers now, even dancers that I dance with, and they always go, "Oh God, you turned it into a whole different career."
Yeah, which it should be. Which it should be. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't be dancing until you're 80 years old. Like I don't think anybody on in the audience wants to see that. That's
No.
one. Two, I think as a dancer and performer, you should be obsessed with the craft in all senses of it. Like how you said, you want to pull the curtains, you want to like study the stage hands, you want to know everything about the theater. I feel like that was one thing that I loved about dance as well. It's like there's so many elements that make a dance. It's not just
Yes.
doing tendus, and that could have young dancers be like, okay, I know that I can make money doing this as well,
Right.
and it's still around this thing that I love doing. It's yeah, dance shouldn't be so like narrow-minded in the
Right.
sense of like I'm gonna just do tendus until I die.
And or I'm gonna go teach it,
Yeah,
or I can
yeah,
only
you can teach.
choreograph, or I'm going to be a Pilates teacher or a yoga teacher, or I'm gonna open up a dance studio. Because that was kind of like
Yeah,
the circle that they gave you. And it wasn't even yoga Pilates, because back in the day, if you were sent to Pilates, that means your stretch wasn't good enough. So that was a punishment. Like seriously, I want to tell you.
yeah.
So when you
That's
say it
that's
hasn't
like
come far, it really has come further than what you think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
That's like
yet
Renee
we
Robinson. She used to tell me to go to yoga all the time. She's just like your leg has to get up. Go to yoga. Floor
see,
bar.
but it wasn't encouraged of what that next career was. And in order to realize that, do you go into theater? Maybe like I can't sing, so couldn't do Broadway, but I
Hmm.
could do other things. And you take that, it is such a foundation dance to understand business. If you do exactly what you said and what I was saying, you have to know all the other elements that are needed to make a beautiful performance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And if you can understand that and be able to put it together, you
yeah,
can survive.
yeah, 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 yeah. And I think if hypothetically speaking, if dance had money to fund these dancers, then you could have the freedom to do that. That's one thing I noticed in Europe. Like, since the government funds the arts out there, it seems like there's so much more life to live outside of dance and learning what you can do with dance. It's like, it's freedom. That's like my word this month. It's like freedom. You know what I mean? That should have been my word in February because, Black History Month. But
Okay.
that's my.
But let's look at it this way. Living in Europe, which I did for 10 and a half years, when you go to dinner at night, you don't speak about what you do during the day. You speak about life and
Life,
living
yeah.
and politics there's a different family, there's a different way that everyone lives. So
Yeah,
even
yeah,
in the arts, because I was still dancing at the time, I didn't go and be like, "Oh, my show tonight." Da, da, da. There was so much
yeah.
more.
There's so much more, yeah. Because you need life to dance. Like you need things to dance about, and that's with any art form. Like you need to live life to make music. You need, So I think it should be like that. And I just wish the American culture was more like not survive. I got to survive to do this.
Mm.
And maybe that does reflect the art. And we got some great art from that, but dancers won't be able to dance too long if you know it's just like survive.
No, and I tell parents, I'm like, listen, I'm a product of being a dancer and having an amazing career and making a living,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
surviving, making a living.
Mhm.
But they're few and far between. And if you don't set your child up to understand that there's more to
Right.
beyond, you don't have to force them to do it. Just keep that in the back of their head.
Yeah, yeah.
Because as a performer, you have to realize that your life is not over the day that you step off that stage either.
Yeah.
And so you have to
Yeah.
start building something. You have to give yourself something to want to do or want to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah. And a lot of kids preface it, and I remember thinking this way too. A lot of kids preface having that type of mentality as like, "Oh no, I'm quitting on my dream," and it doesn't mean you're quitting
You're
on your dream at
building.
all. You're building it, yeah, and you're living your dream and reality at the same time. Your dream is a reality, you know. Yeah, that's the older I get, I notice that too. It's like it's not gonna be the exact way that I want it to go.
Mm-mm.
It'll happen, but it'll happen in whatever way life has for you, you know? Yeah, yeah. You can't think one way as a dancer.
No, you look. So many dancers were not supported by their families.
Yeah, yeah,
So you have the very wealthy kids that they go to ballet and they get the scholarships and they're supported all summer and they don't have to work. And then I remember the kids that literally had to leave class and go to the ice cream shop and scoop or work at a waitress or whatever they
yeah,
needed to do
yeah.
just to try to, as you say, pay the boarding house,
Hmm.
and then, ask us to save dinner for them because they were going to miss the dinner that night.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
once you miss the dinner at the boarding house, that's it. You missed it.
That's it. Yeah,
And so there is such a disparity on who's in that room and how everyone is surviving. Everyone's not surviving the same, yet everyone's fighting for the same spots,
yeah,
but it comes from a different perspective as well. And then
yeah,
you add
yeah,
all of the political razzmatazz along with it. And
yeah,
just because
yeah.
you're the favorite of the choreographer doesn't mean you're the favorite of the theater or going to be the face of that flyer going
Right,
out for
right.
promotions for the new season. And
Yeah.
I remember the season a couple years ago, and I'm going to call it out because the name was ABT,
Hmm.
that was trying so hard to get money. I get it. Someone came up with, we're going to put these dancers everywhere. They're going to dance on the Today Show, the Night Show, the ABC, whatever
Yeah.
show. We're going to put them out there.
Hmm.
The issue was when I went to see them, I could tell the kids were tired.
Yeah.
I said, they have been running them ragged, trying to get $2.50. And I can just see that the energy on the stage. And that one donor, as you said, that older donor, the thing about them, they come and they come and they come and they come. And they were like, I don't like this. They are
Oh
not
wow.
performing to the best of their ability. She
Hmm.
saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wild.
It's got to be
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah. It has to be balanced. I do appreciate them for promoting. Well, I guess they were promoting their company. They were really weren't promoting the dancers themselves.
Mhm.
But I think, and I don't want to give the sauce out to these companies, but the way that you make money for for a company and people want to go is you have stars. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but people will come. That's why movies work so well. You have Timothy Chalamet in a movie. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go see that movie. You know, you have Michael B. Jordan. I'm gonna go see it. You know, people are not going to the movie because of the plot of the movie. I don't think that's ever been a thing. I think maybe if you're like a film buff, yeah. I know that certain ballet performances, if Missy Copeland's performing, she could be performing something I've never heard of in my entire life. I'm gonna go see that. So I think
Right.
companies have to be like, yeah, let's promote our dancers as personalities instead of this full thing because people have no context of that full thing. You
Right.
know,
Well, you know who's doing that? Who started doing it a few years ago? The
who's that?
Rockettes.
Oh, Rockettes. Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah,
I was around and not as a Rockette, but as a business person, was
yeah,
contacted. And
yeah.
they were really trying to, one, bring people into the theater to rent the spaces and make the Rockettes part of the experience. And I was invited in. And
Hmm.
then when they found out I danced, they used me as um, they give little dance classes for the people that came in. They were like, don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone. And I got there and started dancing with them. And they were like, wait a minute, what happened? And they were really making an effort to make the personality.
Yeah,
Then I met one of the Rockettes later on, and she's like, "Well, we have to audition every single time, and we know we have to do
yeah,
this." And the way that they were still, the mentality of the marketing person was great. The mentality of running the dancers, not maybe so much.
yeah, yeah. I think like you have to be in business. You have to be like adamant on keeping the audience familiar with your product. You know, I hate to call it dancers product, but in the Rockettes, this is a product. But it's like my friend Maya Addy, right? She's with the Rockettes. I've seen her in every single ad ever with the Rockettes. Dark skinned girl. You've probably seen her on the Rockettes ad. And it's something about that makes I know her, but something like that makes me want to go and see them because it's a familiar face. You know, this is like a familiar thing, and you can see her personality, and you have like a connection with her. I think just having the dancers move in a commercial is not gonna do anything.
Let's go back a second. In ballet, you weren't supposed to have a personality.
Right, right. That's tradition. Yeah,
You would get in
tradition.
trouble.
Yeah, you're getting in trouble if you had a
Maybe I'm
personality.
talking about myself. You get in trouble. You get in
Yeah,
trouble
yeah, yeah,
if you
yeah,
try
yeah,
to emote a little bit more
yeah,
or accent a
yeah,
little bit more. You were
yeah.
told quick.
Mm,
I was told stop smiling because my teeth were gonna mess up the lights.
mm,
You are put back into a place of if you are, especially if you are the corps de ballet,
yeah.
which thank God I didn't stay there long, clearly, because I would have stayed in trouble. But if you're the corps, you're supposed to blend, and you
You're supposed to
have
be
the
like, yeah,
lead, but the lead is telling the story.
yeah, yeah.
And some of the
The
audience, like you said, they don't know the story.
They don't know the story, yeah. The biggest dancers are the ones with the most personality. And the personality that you know. It could be a shy dancer, but if you know their personality, then it'll work. Like Bershnikov and Gelsey Kirkland and all these people, like they have personality, you know. And even if you look in the choreographer space, Twyla Tharp has so much personality. She performs. Ailey had so much personality. So it's like letting dancers speak because as we know when we're kids, the way that we communicate is speaking. And that is what translates to people. Dance does translate, but you need the context. It's like if I go to the museum and I'm looking at this painting by a dude I don't know anything about, I'm like, oh, that's a cool painting. That's cool. But if I'm on a date with a girl and she's like, "Oh, this is my favorite painting, and he did this and this and this and this and this and this is his accolades," I'd be like, "Oh, I'd be more inclined to be like, oh, I love the textures on the, you know."
Right.
So I think it's the same in dance. Just like why Revelations works so well is because this is a clear contextual thing to the Black experience. So that's why that'll be a thing forever. But I think in just all forms, and ballet just needs to like just go forward, forward. Modern dance is going forward, but it's still rooted in that tradition, and there's a
And
lot
it's
of money that's
because,
being missed out.
yeah, you see hip hop, you see jazz, you
Yeah,
see people think of Broadway or theater, uh, you see modern, as you said,
yeah,
ballet is still tied up with a bow.
yeah,
And we can still have a bow on it, but we need to, it's okay to add additional bows to it,
yeah,
to
yeah,
open it up and really be able to share the stories with others that may not know what Swan Lake really is,
yeah.
or Don Quixote, or any of the classics. I look at companies now and I see that ballet companies are attempting to bring in new choreographers that are livening up. And so
Hmm.
with that, you have to let the audience know that it's there because you
Yeah,
have the donors that want to see the classics, some of them, and like some of the new pieces, but they want to see the classics. And how do you blend new world
yeah.
funkiness of ballet
Hmm.
with old school classic, no personality?
Yeah, I think New York City Ballet does that really well. Whenever I see their seasons, it's just so much like cinematic, cinematic visuals, and like they're always on social media. They have these interviews where they like the dancers. There's a million dancers in City Ballet, but I know certain dancers because of just little interviews they do, and it could be as simple as like they have this segment where it's like, oh, my name is blah blah blah, and this is my favorite step, and that gives people context on
Right.
things that they're watching, and I think that's like perfect, and I think every company should do that. If companies do this and they start making money, they have to give me credit. But but yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially in this day and age, I think everybody's more visual,
Mhm.
and it's more like I need to connect with you, you know.
And that's what, at the end of the day, whether it's a ballet company or a shoe company or a widget company, widgets are a
Hmm.
little harder, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
people want to have a connection to
yeah.
what they're seeing, to what they're doing, to do they see themselves somewhere within that universe? And if not, they don't see themselves, do they get joy from it?
Do they get yeah,
And I think that is where the arts as a whole need to continue to maybe get out of their heads and
hmm,
hearts and open because there's so much you have to love what you do, whether you're an artist or an athlete. And I consider dancers athletes
athletes, yeah,
always where we're training so hard that it's every day a repetition of the same thing.
yeah,
You have to open that world to allow people to see what does that mean
yeah,
beyond a documentary.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
I hope that I know you have a company. I know our time is
Hmm.
almost up, but I want to share.
Hmm.
Tell me about your company and what you formed.
So I made a school and a company. It's called Smalls Dance. I started with my little sister. I'll go see her at the Joyce next
Oh, is
week
she at the Joyce?
with Ailey too. But I started with my sister because I noticed that like one, like we said before, I'm not gonna dance forever, and I feel like it's selfish to stay on stage and not allow these younger dancers to have a moment to dance. And we opened it in Brooklyn, like where I'm from, where I grew up, and I wanted it to be less of because a lot of schools I see is kind of like feels like a charity case type of thing when it's like no, I want these kids to be as excellent as these white kids at School of American Ballet and ABT and Ailey School. I want them to be like excellent, and it does kind of have the framework of Dance at Harlem, where it's just like it's not only for black kids, it's for everybody. But I opened it in the middle of like people that look like me and talk like me, and but it's really for kids to have the opportunity to leave New York and go and dance and do something cool. Because my first tour, I was 15 years old, and I started dance when I was 12. So and I know it's different because I'm a guy,
All right.
but I remember when I was 12, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get these three pirouettes. My foot is gonna point like this. I'm gonna do this, and it forced me to be disciplined and be a robot in my art form. And I want these kids to have a discipline instead of sitting on an iPad all day playing Minecraft, playing Roblox,
Mhm.
or being on TikTok. you know. So that's the main focus of it. I just want kids to be able. I know some kids from Brooklyn that haven't even been to Times Square,
Right.
which is like really sad. It's like 30 minutes away from where we're from. So just giving them an opportunity because with opportunity you can do anything, you know.
100%.
And the company will be mainly the probably the seniors out of the program. It'll just be like a pipeline into company. So yeah, yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you,
Best of luck
thank
with
you,
that. Where can people
thank you.
find you? Because I want people to hear this and see this and go, you know what? I want to learn. I want to keep learning about this world of dance and
Yeah, yeah.
what's happening.
So on Instagram, I be on TikTok, but I don't really be on TikTok. But on Instagram, my Instagram is at Amar Smalls, Amar Smalls. Um, you'll see me on there. I post takes, my
Yeah.
ballet takes, and I just try to uplift the dance community and try to throw some truth into the dance world, and really come into it as like a real person. A lot of people lie and try to like sway people, but coming into it as a real person, and I hope that trajectory goes like insane. But yeah,
I love that. Amar, thank you so much for taking the time.
thank you,
I know you have been busy. I know you are busy. I will continue to follow you, watch you, know that you have a big sis over here that's doing nothing but rooting for you
thank you.
and
I
for the
appreciate it.
dance community as a whole. You never leave.
Yeah,
Even
you
when you try
never
to block
leave.
it out of your head, you never leave.
Yeah, you never leave.
And for all those that have been listening and watching, I hope you learned a little something new today about the dance world and how it connects with business as it is a business. Continue to watch, continue to listen. I'm Leslie Short, your host, and I look forward to seeing you. And you know you can find this on all the Kava Group channels and the YouTube channel. Thanks so much. Bye now.